Hello there, on behalf of Astromatrix, my name is Marcelle, and I'm here today to talk to you about the full moon that's happening in Aries on the 20th of October at 27 degrees. So before I dive into this, I'd like to ask, please, if you do enjoy our content, to like and subscribe. And then at the end of each reading, I do an actual tarot reading on behalf of the collective just to get more information as to what's playing out. So this is the potential to be quite an intense full moon. I really feel that the months of, September to October, the 22nd, when we move out of Libra season with the sun, it's very much centered around the theme of Libran quality, which is to do with diplomacy. It's very much about considering the other. If Libra represents the other, then Aries represents the I. And of course, this full moon is in Aries. And so it creates this tension between ourselves and our significant others. So the moon is in Aries at 27 degrees, and it's whenever we have a full moon, we have an opposition with the sun, which is in Libra at 27 degrees as well. So we've just come out of quite a few retrogrades, which needs to be mentioned. So there's this slow momentum that's starting to move forward from all the planets having now stationed direct. So we've got Pluto that has now stationed direct and is slowly moving forward. We have Saturn, which is now slowly moving forward. We have Jupiter as well as Mercury. So the Mercury retrograde actually ended 2 days before the full moon on the 18th. And it's a Mercury retrograde in Libra. So we've just done a whole month of really exploring what this Libran quality is about. And then now we have this full moon in Aries. So just to give you a little bit more information about this axis, the Aries quality is me, it's I, it's my assertion, it's my independence. It's following what is right for me. It's really focusing on what my needs are. It's this single-pointed drive forward, facing wherever it is that we want to go. It's ruled by Mars, so it has a warlike quality to it. And then, of course, we have Libra, which is ruled by Venus. So it's around love, it's around social etiquette, it's around balance, harmony, bringing things back into balance with others, and learning a more cooperative way of engaging with others that serves the greater whole, as opposed to just our own individual needs. So we really do need a balance between these two energies. We can't just have this single-pointed focus drive, focusing on our own needs, pushing forward. We also need to be able to consider the others with our how it is that we move through the world. And of course, we can't just fully be in the Libran energy, because then we lose that ability to fully assert ourselves and take action. So it's finding a balance between really considering and working with others, but at the same time being able to assert our individuality, to really hold that individuality and to not lose ourselves amidst all the diplomacy and the interactions with others in the social situations, because Libra is very social. So that is the challenge, and even more so the fact that the Libra sun is in a conjunction with Libra Mars, and the full moon in Aries is in a conjunction with Eris. So Eris is it's the planet of strife and discord, and it's all about revolutionary standing in your truth with whatever area of the chart it lies in. So this is quite an important component. It will be very helpful to sit down and have a look to see where 27 degrees and then 5 degrees on both sides of that lie in your chart. This is for the moon as well as for the sun. And if there are any planets nearby, it'll give you a sense of what's going to be impacted. It's also important to see which house it's in, because that'll give us a sense of what the themes are that are playing out. So having Eris in a conjunction with the moon indicates that this is going to be a potentially volatile, emotionally explosive, because the moon in Aries is ruled by Mars, and when we have Eris in the mix, There is a strong sense of assertion and standing up for what you feel is right. This is the quality of Aries. So it's an emotional, it's quite fiery, it's combustive as well. But then, of course, we've got that Libran energy that's playing out, that is in opposition, that is seeking balance. And, you know, we don't have to fight about this. We can sit down and talk about it. It doesn't have to build up to this. We can find a way through this. So there's a nice balance that's going on here. However, Mars is in the mix with the Libra Sun. So Mars in Libra is the furthest away. It's in its detriment. It's the furthest away from its rulership. So it's not so entirely comfortable. It's not comfortable in Libra. However, because both the Sun and the Moon come into a square with Pluto at 24 degrees, this changes things slightly. It has the potential to indicate, it's really, first of all, challenging us because we are getting quite close to the end of the Libra season, which ends 2 days later. When I say the Libra season, I mean the Sun moving out of Libra and into Scorpio. So it's still kind of the tail end of really understanding and working with what these Libran energies are. And because Mars is about assertion, when we assert ourselves in Libra, we find the middle path. We are much more diplomatic about how it is that we take action. We try and get all the information first before we charge in. The Moon in Aries is much more impulsive, and especially in that conjunction with Aries, it is very focused on what it thinks is right, what it feels is right, because it is the Moon, and it doesn't have that objectivity that the Libra Sun and Mars does have. So, however, when both these planets, the Sun and the Moon, come into a square with Pluto, it's Pluto in Capricorn, which is now moving forward. It's no longer in retrograde motion. So Pluto has the potential to really dig up something intense from the subconscious, from the cesspit of our past that we have pushed to the side as a means of avoiding because we don't want to deal with it. So when it comes into a square with the Sun, the Moon, and Mars, you can be sure that something is going to come to the surface to be dealt with. And the challenge here is to assert yourself in a healthy manner whilst considering the bigger picture, whilst considering all parties involved, instead of just blasting through and burning things down to the ground. So the Pluto energy can be really, really intense, and it is important during this period to find ways to release any pent-up anxiety, either through meditation or some kind of exercise, really eating healthy and getting enough sleep. You know, the full moon is also a period of culmination. So at this full moon, something is coming to head and it wants to release. And it's shining, it's at its brightest, it's shining its light on a situation that has been building up over the series of the previous month to that point in order for culmination and release. So I've got the cards here and I'm going to shuffle them on behalf of the collective. And we are doing a reading for the collective related to the full moon in Aries. This is a reading on behalf of the collective related to the full moon in Aries on the 20th of October. Okay. So the first question that I'm going to ask, this is a reading on behalf of the collective for the full moon in Aries. The first question is, what is the theme of this full moon? And a card has just fallen out, and we have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is about the ripening potential around something intellectual. It could have to do with communication. It could indicate communication coming in, but it could indicate an opportunity for seeing things from a new perspective. So it is an air sign, and Libra rules air. So it's to do with the intellect and the mind and communication. So the first question that I'm asking is, what does this full moon in Aries want to tell us or show us? What does this full moon in Aries want to tell us, reveal to us, or show to us? And we have the Nine of Pentacles. And this is all to do with independence, financial independence, standing on your own ground. So it's very much, it's a grounded, it's connected to Pentacles, which is an earth sign, and it reflects the journey that has been taken to get to this point where you are standing as an independent person in your garden of abundance. You've achieved your financial security, and you are in a place of fulfillment in terms of feeling grounded and connected to all the resources that nourish you. So that's what this full moon is wanting from us. All right, so let's find out more. What is the sun in Libra wanting? The sun in Libra conjunct the Mars, what is it wanting to show us? What is the sun in Libra conjunct the Mars wanting to reveal to us? What is the sun in Libra conjunct the Mars wanting to reveal to us? Okay. And of course we have the Six of Pentacles, which is all about sharing. And it's a card of give and take. Okay. So I'm going to ask, what is the moon conjunct Eris in Aries trying to show us? What is the moon in Aries conjunct Eris trying to reveal to us? And we have the Ace of Swords, okay, which has to do with so the aces are all about new beginnings, but it's, for me, the Ace of Swords represents this paradigm shift, this realization, this clarity, this truth coming through. So there's a, because we have the Page of Swords as the theme of the reading. So there's truth that's coming through. There's a realization that is coming through that has to do with your independence and sense of abundance in relation to this exchange with others. Okay. So the last question that I want to ask has to do with the Pluto energy. And I'd like to find out, what is Pluto? What does Pluto have in store for us? So the Pluto coming into a square with the moon and the sun. Pluto coming into the square with the moon and the sun. What does Pluto have in store for us? What is Pluto wanting us to see, experience, or witness? Okay, so we have the moon. Okay, so the moon is in Aries and it's ruled by Mars, and Pluto traditionally is ruled by Scorpio, which is also ruled by Mars. The Scorpionic energy, Pluto rules the 8th house, but Scorpio is also ruled by Mars, so it's also a very warlike quality. So the Pluto energy is going to shake up potential fear and confusion for us. It's going to dig up something unconscious that will allow us to experience whatever we're needing to experience to bring us to a place of clarity with regards to not only our independence, which is very much the Aries energy, but also the interactions with others. So it's interesting because these cards are pretty much spelling out exactly what this full moon is about. There's this potential, this fertile potential for clarity. The Aries full moon is, the moon is about our independence, but not just independence, it's also the abundance of that. The Libra energy is wanting us to understand and connect to the sharing element with others. And then there's an outcome of clarity that is coming as a result of the build-up of something from the subconscious being brought to the surface. And so whenever we have an opposition, this involves the other. So this will be an interaction with someone else, especially because it is Libra season and it is about the other. So it'll be a tension between I versus them. And through that, some clarity will be coming through as a result of Pluto shaking things up. So I hope this sheds some light on your situation. Things are now starting to move forward now that so many planets are no longer in retrograde. And so whatever it is that we've been reflecting on, sitting with, brewing up in our private spaces, it's now time to start moving forward with this and taking action. And I feel that because we have the Nine of Pentacles over here, it has to do with our independence and a sense of abundance. So, but of course it does involve our interactions with others to get us to that place. So yeah, I'd love to hear how this reading impacts you, what's playing out in your life at the moment, how you might feel resonance with this reading. Is this actually happening in your personal life? And then, of course, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And, of course, lastly, to look to see which house this is all playing out in to get a sense of what's going on. So, lastly, I just want to mention that we do offer private readings through Astro Matrix. You can go onto the app or onto the site and you can make a booking in order to get more information as to how this may manifest for you. Thank you so much for your time. Bye for now.